Hi, I'm Gregg Fosse. This is the second in our series of videos on how to play the sitar. The first is, of course, how to tune the instrument. You know, every time you mean, the neck is moving, the strings are moving. It's a constant adjustment, and the great players are tuning the instrument as they play without even, our being aware of it. It's all music. I mean, even just to hear them tune before the concert is music. The most important thing, in my opinion, is that as you practice the sitar, you have to practice in the correct hand positions. It's kind of like the piano. If your hands are in an awkward position, creating stress in the body, stress in the wrist or whatever, then you're just building up problems in the future, potential injuries, whatever, and it makes it more difficult to play the instrument. I was very lucky to have a great teacher from Etowah, Guarana, who was a very precise and a great demonstrator of the correct hand positions. And you just rest your thumb on the instrument, rest your forearm on the tumba, and it's all the fingers open and close naturally. It's not just the one finger. It's not a rigid thing. It's a firm rest on the instrument. The hand position is firm. There's a little bit of movement of the back of the palm, but it's primarily just a solid base from which you open and close the entire hand. And that's how all the strokes are executed. So the left hand, the arm hangs naturally. The elbows should just hang naturally. It's not supposed to be out here. Obviously, that's going to create stress in the shoulder. The left hand, you want the fingers not really straight across the strings, but leaning back a little bit so you can do the mean more easily. And there's a slight cock to the wrist, and you should be able to just move up and down. You see how my elbow just stays pointing at the ground? And I'm just moving up and down the string, the full length of the neck, and it's very comfortable. The arm is hanging there and basically able to execute mean. And normally with mean, both fingers are on the string. I do mean with the first finger when I do a pull-off with the second, but it's uncomfortable. So normally it's more comfortable and you have more control of both fingers on the string. And then the right hand, again, resting the thumb on the instrument. And the pick, it's actually leaning off the finger a little bit. If it's not centered on the finger, then it should be leaning a little bit this way as opposed to that way, because your hand has actually got a little bit of an angle to it. So I like to have the point of the pick just leaning ever so slightly towards my thumb. And the stroke should be at 90 degrees to the string. Hopefully you can see that the stroke is, I hope my stroke is straight across the string in both directions. And as you practice scales, I like to try and get the bajtar, which is the main melody string, and the bronze sa string. I like to have them be struck in such a way that the sound is as close to identical as possible as you're doing the da and ra stroke. So I always tried to get the sound to be as similar as possible on the strokes. And as far as hand movement on the right hand, normally, I mean, there's almost no movement at the back of my hand. When you're doing jala, maybe there's a little shift. So hopefully I've given you a basic idea of correct hand positions, finger positions, playing technique on the instrument. If you have the ability to practice in front of a mirror, to monitor yourself until you get comfortable with the correct positions, then all the practice you do will be ingraining the correct hand and arm positions, and you'll be on your way to being able to play whatever it is that you can play if you're willing to practice enough. And we all know how much practice is required on these instruments. So thanks for your time. Thanks for watching.